neighborhood. Clippers owner Steve Ballmer is donating $15 million to victims of the wildfires and first responders. In a statement, Ballmer said most of the money is going to the racially diverse community of Altadena, one of the hardest hit areas by the wildfires. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They play Brooklyn at Crypto.com. This is D'Angelo Russell's first trip back to L.A. after the Lakers traded him to Brooklyn on December 29th. It'll be interesting to see how Brooklyn responds after their 59-point loss to the Clippers on Wednesday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is for all the folks who appreciate follow-through. Here's a quick recap of the KBLA Talk 1580 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. More than 6.4 million Southern Californians viewed our climate justice billboards and bus shelters. Another 1.5 million people listened to and or downloaded our weekly conversations with African American climate experts. Our KBLA Climate Justice web portal had 2.8 million unique visitors. Thousands more attended our 7 climate justice community events. More than 9.3 million riders saw our climate care messaging on metro buses and trains. And 39 million Americans accessed our C-SPAN Climate Justice Symposium. All told, our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign exceeded 471 million total impressions. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks all of our 2024 Climate Justice partners: LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, Sierra Club, California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr., the California Wellness Foundation, MWD, AQMD, and the Port of Los Angeles. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsettling. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tight, Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. Man, listen to my voice. You can tell I was out breathing smoke all day yesterday. Ooh, my name is Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Okay, so it's a Friday, Freedman Friday, that is. So we do things a little differently. Hour one, we do local stuff, left coast, what's going on around here, which seems to have actually taken over a lot of the nation at the moment. Hour two, we do Freedman Friday, our comprehensive conversation regarding reparations. In hour three, we do whatever we do in hour three. And today we'll be hearing from Sheila Hines, who is the auntie of Waukesha Wilson, who is, well, we'll be talking about the prospect of a new law to make sure people get notified when their loved ones are killed in police custody. So Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, as usual. And as usual, you're invited to call in all the time at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. It's every other Friday, so our contributor, Sherri Bell, is in the building. Sherri Bell is a labor activist, a mom, and a KBLA contributor. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, everybody out there listening.
Yeah, you're right. We were talking off the air. 2025 is a lot so far.
It's off to what we would call a rough start,
Yeah.
People are on edge, and the fires, they impacted areas that we never would have thought they would have, like flat land so close to home, affluent areas that are not up like so deep in the hills, and cities that most people in big cities never heard of. Because like usually I've been living out here all my life, and I've never heard of wildfires hitting like major cities so closely. And not only and then like this devastation that these homeowners, business owners of going through, people who lost loved ones. It's not just about the property, it's about they lost memories. They're repairing. It's a great deal of mental health, that they're gonna need in this time. And I think it's gonna beg the question moving forward about a bigger investment in fire protection, fire safety and prevention, education, so people can know how to prepare and react when they hear about things that might be on the horizon. I think that we are in a new day moving forward in, Los Angeles and California at large.
I think that's true, and I believe it impacts how we rebuild too, right? Because it's got to be, we have to have some thing in the construction or the landscaping or all of the above that is not just sustainable but more fire resistant. If that's possible, it has to be possible. It certainly is an argument for using less plastic if we can find ways to do that, because that plastic is releasing into the air as it burns. And I was reading an article today about how the air quality is worse for little kids because they have to breathe, they have to take more breaths because they have those little developing lungs, and how tough this is on them now. So even if I see the air quality is pretty good, there are some particles that are too large to show up in those air quality monitors, like ashes.
Right. Yeah. And like, I bet that like put a lot of people's like New Year's resolution of getting those exercises in, getting the running in outside, because you had to take a pause, because you can, like when the fires first, kicked off, you could see those large pieces of ash.
You could still see that. I mean, well, we were out in Altadena. I mean, not as much as day one, but it's still there. And of course, it's on everybody's cars.
Yeah.
Which means it's still in the air,
Still breathing it in.
So, I mean, if you can get your child to wear a mask, it's even more important than us. And I didn't realize that the bad air from the smoke is linked to strokes.
Wow.
Which is...
So if you're high risk,
yeah,
you should probably wear a mask or stay in the house as much as possible.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea about that. And, I also had no idea Altadena was such a large historically black community. I mean, I'd heard about like East Pasadena having black people, but not really Altadena. I knew it was a somewhat affluent neighborhood, and I'm glad that a lot of people have eyes on what's happening, because black folks tend to be left behind when it comes to any type of resources or distribution of resources. So I'm glad that people are looking forward to rebuilding it. It's just a lot of unknowns at this point, regarding like how and if people were insured and what that mean, and is their wealth lost now? It's a lot of very hurtful and uncertain things to think about, and hoping that resources, for whether it's insurance or from the state, if we stay on it, I think it could make a difference in how these families are able to bounce back.
I absolutely think it will make a difference. We were able to broadcast from Altadena, Pasadena yesterday, and learned a lot from being there, but also, the depth of what it's going to take
Mm-hmm.
to rebuild and to make sure that wealth is not lost. And then I think this is already a given before we went out there yesterday, but it's really reconfirmed for me the fact that we are in this for the long run. As a Black-owned media outlet, we will be following up on these stories and providing information about what you're talking about, insurance and mortgages and all of that stuff. There's a lot of professionals in the field that are ready to step up and make sure people have the help and knowledge that they need to even come up with some creative solutions for those who, need different options, because maybe they can't wait 2, 3, 4, 5 plus years to rebuild their home.
Tiny house, container home, something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were talking. One of the things, and we talked about this yesterday with Jeff Davis and the whole insurance situation, is that in some situations, the older owner of the house could take the insurance money from rebuilding the house itself and then deed the property to the person, their child or grandchild that they want to inherit it, and let that child take a loan against the land, for example, to rebuild.
Oh.
So the child will still have a mortgage, but they'll be paying far less than they would for a house in that area, and they'll still own the land, and the elder will have money to go live their life, rent a place somewhere, and get out of the area and get out of the smoke, or not have to wait for a home, especially, so many in their 80s and 90s who are not going to want to wait 5 years for a new home.
No,
that's just one example.
That's an example of some of that good information that you've been collecting and distributing, because if somebody don't know and they're listening, they can share that information with somebody.
Yeah, and we have spots running, and we're going to keep updating them with different resources, because people, i.e., one is the LA Chamber of Commerce that has said, okay, we're going to help people get information. A lot of these law firms are doing stuff, I guess, partly to get business, but partly because they're invested in saving Black generational wealth. Wow, Areva Martin, attorney Areva Martin, and her husband Martin & Martin, they're traveling around doing workshops. Wow. Traveling around because the people in Altadena are now scattered around wherever they evacuated to.
Yeah, I heard that on the show. Yeah. I also feel that now, that Pacific Palisades and Malibu were affected. They're affluent. I believe that now people are really going to take a closer look at fire safety and prevention, and because these people have lost their homes. I've heard like a story where a husband and his ex-wife and his rental property were all gone. So now the children and everything is all displaced. So it's a long road to recovery, but I think that eyes are going to definitely be open because of who is affected. And we got to make sure that everybody who was affected is treated the same in terms of, how they recover.
Right, which is a tall order, but we can do it if we don't get trendy and just go on to the next ambulance to chase, but recognize that, as you said, this rare enclave of Black wealth and community is an issue that we continue to focus on no matter what else, because the shenanigans are coming. Monday is the inauguration of El Monstruo. That means the monster in Spanish. El Monstruo. Okay, that's name calling, Dominique. Yeah, well, that it's the inauguration of a monstrous agenda. Perhaps we'll put it that way. And it looks like the Senate is kind of looking like they might confirm
all his picks, huh?
These very unqualified and rather menacing folks. So I know there's going to be a lot to distract us, and I just want us to keep eyes on Altadena, no matter what other stories are in the news.
That's correct. Yeah, it's going to have to be something that the media is not going to do it.
Right.
So...
Well, in a sense, we are the media.
Okay, like, I mean, like the local news, because, like, the issue attention cycle is so short when it comes to, like, news media outlets on, like, television. So it's going to take community pushing it back up to the forefront and attention, and they're just all doing the work behind the scenes, as well.
Yeah. Well, we do have a lot to talk about. I just finally figured out what's happening with the King Parade. That is canceled.
Yeah.
Well, postponed, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never heard, maybe once or
COVID.
twice, but but it's a lot of walking. A lot of air got to be breathed in. I don't know if that was the reason, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, and it's the children, all those little drum majorettes and stuff that have the most vulnerability to that smoke and particulate matter. So it's going to happen. I think they're saying it's going to happen in February. I don't have a date
for Black
yet.
History Month?
Yeah, King Day, Black History Month.
Okay.
So, I mean, King Day is a day of service, so let's get out and help somebody.
Yeah.
If you have the energy and a mask,
Yeah.
get out and help somebody. We will continue our conversation. You're invited in. You know the deal. 800-920-1580. Or if you're new, welcome. 800-920-1580. Or hit us up in the chat on YouTube at KBLA 1580. Unapologetically progressive now and always. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Now that Donald J. Trump has been elected to a second term as president, please join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 to examine the question, where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? At the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science on Saturday, January 25th. Some of LA's top elected officials, Representative Sidney Comlager Dove, Mayor Karen Bass, Supervisor Holly Mitchell, and City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson will be on hand for what promises to be a lively and informative conversation. Doors open at 8 a.m. The general session, moderated by Tavis Smiley and broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580, begins at 9 a.m. The event is free, but seating is limited and registration is required. Go to the Empowerment Congress website at www.empowermentcongress.org to register. Where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? Come join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday, January 25th at the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Doors open at 8 a.m. The free program starts at 9 a.m. Registration is required at www.empowermentcongress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Taxes was waiting around for your taxes to be done, which led to worrying about not getting any money back. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes in a day to get you up to $4,000 fast with a refund advance loan. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Expert filing only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Refund advance has $0 loan fees and 0% APR. Refund advance loans may be issued by First Century Bank, N.A. or WebBank. Terms apply. Subject to approval.
Somebody's been praying for me.
Thanks to the generous support of the KBLA Talk 1580 delegation, we were able to donate 545 pounds of coats and blankets to the LA Mission this winter season.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
The LA Mission expressed its deep gratitude for our gift all over social media, but we wish to thank them and all the other service providers who look out daily for the less fortunate in our community, finding our happy by being helpful.
Hallelujah!
We're KBLA Talk 1580, where we do more than just talk.
Somebody's been praying for me.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, you were talking about Sherri Bell's here with me, and you're welcome in 800-920-1580. Sherri was talking about the new awareness around fire safety and how we build and how we live. I also think there's a new awareness around the role that our incarcerated firefighters play.
Yeah.
And after the show yesterday, I was invited to go visit the camp there at which is at the Rose Bowl right now, where all the incarcerated firefighters from this area, the ones that are fighting the Eaton fire, are living. And the way they have it set up, they get 24 hours on, 24 hours off. So they cycle shifts on and off, on and off. And so I was able to talk with the young men who are actually, having their 24-hour break.
Yeah.
And it really meant so much to them, the fact that people were actually aware of their work now and actually thankful.
Wow.
Because as one young man told me, you go to work every day and you might die. You might die. You're going to fight fires. Tavis and I were having a conversation about whether, what these guys actually do. And he was actually having one on his show as well. Well, they are on the front lines. They're not holding hoses, but they're just feet away from those fires, digging the containment lines, hiking up steep canyons with heavy backpacks. And the unit of firefighters that I was mainly talking with is the only youth unit. So these are young men who came out of the LA County and other county juvenile systems, and rather than going to prison, they went straight into the fire programs. And it's clearly rehabilitative. I can tell just by talking to them and seeing how they feel about it. Many of them want to be firefighters when they come out. Many of them are thinking of other careers. And this group is called the Pine Grove Camp 12.
Wow.
Shout out to Pine Grove Camp 12. They are literally putting their lives on the line. It was mostly Black and Latino young men, some others. And the unity between these guys who are fighting fires together, risking their lives together, living in these tents, it's pretty impressive considering the politics, the racial politics of our prison system.
Right. Yeah, that's very heartwarming and awesome that you went out there, because when we talk about incarcerated firefighters, or people who have been formerly incarcerated and trying to get into the firefighting field, we often talk about, the wages that they deserve. They deserve, fair wages, higher pay. They should be able to work for a real fire department when they get out. We talk about that, but we don't really necessarily talk about thanking them, right? Like the fact that you were able to thank them and recognize them. And when we thank our first responders, I see that now the LA Lakers and many sports teams are selling these shirts, LA Strong, thank you first responders. They are included in that thank you. And,
I doubt they automatically think that, but you're right. And I do thank our first responders, I absolutely. It was real different being out there and seeing, the National Guard marching by as I was I spent several hours out there. And they do have their long guns and they're uniformed up and they're patrolling.
Yeah.
And it's not just patrolling to keep, people out. It's also to keep people safe, because those areas where everything has burned are now really dangerous. There's gas leaks and chemical leaks and smoldering embers. You could reach into something and get deeply burned. You could, an explosion could happen at any time if you've got gas leaking and an active fire.
Right.
So, thank you to all of the first responders. But it was real interesting to talk to those guys. And my hope, Sherri Bell, we talked about this a lot, is that it will make a Proposition 6 actually happen next time.
Yeah, that too. And also I'm glad that they do find a sense of purpose, like you said, in this rehabilitation that is underway. These folks are giving back in a meaningful way. They learned a deep, important skill that they're utilizing to help, others. And it's a skill set that should be, compensated. And I know that Assemblymember Isaac Bryan is introduced Assembly Bill 247. And it's going to be basically that these incarcerated firefighters should earn a hourly wage equal to the lowest non-incarcerated firefighter wage in the state of California for the time that they are actively fighting a fire.
Yeah, and of course it's interesting you would say that because Assemblymember Bryan was out there too.
Oh, wow.
Also thanking the young people, and he was going around to all the first responders, but he was letting folks know about that bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that was important, and I think it's, that's one of the things that I admire about Assemblymember Bryan is he'll respond quickly, right?
Yeah.
And and that's important because political will is never guaranteed.
Yeah, and I know like foster youth and youth in general is like a big advocacy point for him, just being a former foster youth, and so just knowing all the things that that group has to go through in order to like not be incarcerated, and when they are, how do they get like reduce the recidivism rate and these kind of jobs. And earning a fair wage to either take care of their kids, because these youth probably have children as well. And I mean, I don't know what happens if, God forbid, anybody like perishes while fighting the fire.
I don't know either. That's a great
Get
question.
any kind of benefit? I'm not aware, but I feel like a life is a life, and they should hopefully be taken care of.
And of course, not all of them are youth. I was talking to the youth because that's what Spirit apparently gravitated me towards. They were real proud of their record. They say they win the competition between the various fire camps on a regular basis, and they're the current champions. I didn't even know there was such a competition, but apparently there is. And I want to give some love to the Justice Care and Opportunities Department of LA County, because they've created a new fire camp where they're training these incarcerated people when they come out, as soon as they come out, to get the certifications that they need to get real jobs in fire departments and different kinds of establishments, and even culinary, but getting them certified, getting them trained in a situation where they live at the camp, they work at the camp, and they receive supportive services, whatever that might be. So want to give a shout out to them. And of course, Judge Songhai Armstead was out there yesterday as well with the firefighters who are incarcerated.
Yeah, that's amazing, because that's not everybody would like to do that field, right? That is a dangerous job, and the fact that these people are like interested and want to do it, I think that we should open up the doors for them, because what I hope that is learned from this is there has to be a larger investment in fire prevention safety. We have to be beefed up. In the words of Sugar Free, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, So, we need to create these jobs and have them in place in case anything like this ever happen, or just preventing things like this from happening.
Yeah, a lot to consider, but these are the moments sometimes when attitudes can shift, and so I'm glad that the awareness is rising. We've got news, traffic, and sports, then more conversation. Sherri Bell and Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Donald Trump is nominating Troy Mink for Air Force Secretary. Mink, a director at the National Reconnaissance Office, will work closely with Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth. If confirmed, Mink will oversee critical Air Force programs. President-elect Trump's cabinet picks faced Senate confirmation hearings Thursday. Pam Bondi, Doug Burgum, Lee Zeldin, and Scott Bessent testified. A polar vortex will bring below zero temperatures to much of the U.S. this month, starting this weekend. Temperatures could drop 35 degrees below average, with freezing conditions expected from Maine to Idaho and the southeast. And music stars like Jelly Roll, Earth, Wind & Fire, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers will perform at the Fire Aid Benefit Concert on January 30th to raise money for the LA wildfire victims. The concert will be streamed live by iHeartRadio. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers continued their dominant performance Thursday night in Portland. They beat the Trailblazers 118-89 for their third straight win. In the last two games, the Clippers have outscored their opponents by a combined 88 points. Norman Powell led the Clippers with 23. The Clippers play the Lakers Sunday night in the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Clippers owner Steve Ballmer is donating $15 million to victims of the wildfires and first responders. In a statement, Ballmer said most of the money is going to the racially diverse community of Altadena, one of the hardest hit areas by the wildfires. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They play Brooklyn at Crypto.com. This is D'Angelo Russell's first trip back to LA after the Lakers traded him to Brooklyn on December 29th. It'll be interesting to see how Brooklyn responds after their 59-point loss to the Clippers on Wednesday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Ooh. First things first with Dominique DiPrima at 6 a.m. Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. The D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show at 2 p.m. A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Quarterly Forte at 4 p.m. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Tune in weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the talk of the town. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. Here they come, y'all. Here they come.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in tough times, connecting you with resources and what you need to know. Evacuation shelters are located in the Pasadena Civic Center, the Dream Center in LA, the Westwood Recreation Center, and many more. You can call 311 for details. Santa Anita Park in Arcadia is a pop-up mutual aid hub where you can pick up anything from clothing to food and hygiene supplies. If you're in Los Angeles County and in need of food, call Omni Ministries at 310-631-1557. Donations can be made to Zelle, Omni Ministries, Inc. at yahoo.com. Parking Lot I outside of Rose Bowl Stadium is a pop-up mutual aid hub where you can pick up everything from clothing to food to hygiene supplies for free. To volunteer or donate to help victims of the fire, contact the LA Emergency Network at enla.org. The Cochran Firm and Ivy McNeil, Wyatt Purcell and Diggs, Jasmine Canick, and others have launched a GoFundMe specifically targeting Altadena. Visit LA Fires, the impacted Black community urgently needs help on GoFundMe, and donate to help Black evacuees fighting for survival. Airbnb is offering free temporary housing to people displaced by the fires. Call 211 to sign up. The LA Chamber of Commerce is stepping up to help you sort out insurance claims and other paperwork. Reach them at 213-580-7500. South LA Cafe has free groceries, clothing, and water available at 1700 Browning Boulevard in LA. Track their giveaways or volunteer through their Instagram at South LA Cafe. U-Haul is donating short-term storage free of charge for 30 days to evacuees. Shelter for small or large animals can be accessed by calling 211. A Black-led coalition of community organizations is offering support and resources in the Altadena area at the Flint Ridge Center at 236 West Mountain Street in Pasadena. For comprehensive lists of resources for housing, food, shelter, and more, visit Mutual Aid LA Network on Instagram. Praying for LA and standing with you. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. So Courtney says in the chat, EC Courtney, that the parade has been moved to February 17th. He says 05, but I'm pretty sure he means 2025. If we could move it to 2005,
Man,
that wouldn't be bad.
Go back in time, boy.
To the pre-Trump era. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he means 2025. And thank you for that information. I was not aware of that. I just knew it was canceled. And since it's Monday, that's important. If you want something else to do Monday, Black Lives Matter LA is having an event called Preparedness and Organizing to Fight Fires and Fascism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's emergency resources and expert presentations and workshops. It's going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Center for Black Power, which is 3423 West 43rd Place. It's right where the Metro Lamert Park stop is.
I might have to slide through there. That sounds very resourceful and, how could I say, useful information.
Yeah, they're having dinner. You're going to have free dinner if you go. And if you want information, go to nocopnation.org, nocopnation.org. So, I mean, that's something you could do for a day of service. You could also go volunteer with somebody like Walk Good LA or neighborhood servants.
Yeah, just seeing the heroes. Like, talk about Avengers and Marvel superheroes. You got people who just sprung into action. Because many people, I guess myself included, just sit back like, oh my God, what can I do? Like, I don't really got a lot of money. Like, these people didn't think about that. They've organized and got together. And I'm like, these people are the truth right here.
Yeah. But see, to me, that's the LA that folks that don't live here never see. So they're so busy disparaging celebrities and trying to hold our aid hostage. So what you're saying is we are your sugar daddy and we can't get our money back to fix our burning city, which you rely on to generate revenue to pay for all these sorry red states. So you're willing, that's cut off your nose to spite your face all day long. You're willing to throw the economy under the bus that is the engine for your prosperity. Think about that. That's crazy. We are your rich uncle. You're going to kill us off and you're not in the will.
Right. Yeah. No, it is kind of worrisome, just thinking about the beef, going back and forth between our incoming president and our governor, And
but he got beef with the whole state. He hates Maxine Waters. He hates you. He hates me. Yeah. He hates all the actors except the bad ones.
But he come out here and he fundraising and he got his golf course. He's Hollywood. Man, how he gonna not like us? I think a lot of what he doing is talk now. He might do some of the stuff he tried to do what he said, but I don't think he can't.
Well, yeah, he does have a golf course out here. I was protesting on it on Christmas. I think he also, there is definitely a very conservative element within Hollywood that he loves. A lot of people, and quiet as it's kept, voted for him.
Oh, all the people probably that's performing at his inauguration.
The village people.
His Hollywood ambassadors that he selected. I'm like...
Yeah,
I'm sure a group of people. I mean, not a lot of people in LA County. He didn't win LA County, but it still was it was like half, split almost. But he got a lot of supporters that he don't want to let down that happen to be here. So yeah.
Well, he's appointed. I'm typing right now, trying to remember who they were. Dennis Quaid is one of them. The special envoys to Hollywood. Mel Gibson. Is it Mel Gibson? No.
It is.
Was it Mel Gibson?
Goes to show he ain't changed that much.
Right. Yeah, it was John Voight.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone. But what's funny to me is that nobody in Hollywood want to talk to those people anyway. Well, there might be some, but most of the real movers and shakers don't want to talk to John Voight,
right?
Mel Gibson or Sylvester Stallone. They're special ambassadors to the very troubled place, Hollywood, California. To do what? What are they going to really do?
Yeah, nah. If he would have had Arnold Schwarzenegger in there, that he got some juice.
Right,
but
right.
those guys, not so much. I'm surprised he didn't throw James Wood in there. He loved that actor. Been saying a lot. It's like all the people who support him and like say, repeat his talking points pretty much. Like that's who he gonna ride with. And so, yeah, we'll see how far they get. We don't need them, right? They're just gonna try to influence policy some kind of way. I don't know how, but
yeah, well, that just seems like one of those things where they get a feather in their cap, like he's their friend, and so therefore he he wants to give, because he's handing out jobs like it was nothing.
Yeah. Like The Apprentice.
Yeah. So somebody called Sherri Bell and said, what is martial law? And why is the governor talking about it? And I think they're confusing martial law with a Marshall Plan. Martial law, which is spelled MARTIAL, is when we're in a state of emergency and some of our civil liberties are suspended in order to regain order. It's very rare in our republic. A Marshall Plan is a comprehensive plan, and that's MARSHALL, of an extreme investment in order to rebuild something. It's usually associated with war. So the original Marshall Plan was created by Secretary of State George Marshall to rebuild Western Europe, to help rebuild Western Europe. It was the United States under President Truman assisting Europe in rebuilding. So don't be alarmed if you hear Marshall Plan. That's not the same as martial law.
So we're talking about rebuilding and not the purge.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm glad you called, because it's a mistake anybody could make. Especially with the MAGA folks running around talking about martial law and FEMA camps and all the stuff misinformation they like to spread. But a Marshall Plan means a huge, a huge economic investment in an actual program to rebuild after a war. And it's acknowledging the fact that the damage that we're seeing in Altadena and the Palisades is similar to what we would see in a war.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Decimation, a lot of jobs, a lot of property. Oof. It's crazy to see along PCH what it looks like. It's heartbreaking. And geez, Louise, the guy who won the $2 billion jackpot for California, his home got burned to the ground.
Oh my goodness. Well, he has insurance, because when you buy a new home, you have to have insurance. The ones I'm worried about are the ones who got the home from their granny or their mama. Because apparently, and I didn't know this, when your home is completely paid off, you can tell mine isn't, you don't have to have insurance on it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. Yeah, I mean, that's something, the thing, like another expense people probably didn't want. But not only that, if you do have insurance, who knows what it covers and what it doesn't cover?
Right, and insurance companies have dropped a lot of people. I was talking to one man yesterday who had lost everything, and he said that his insurance company dropped him a couple of years ago for being like one day late on a payment.
Wow,
because they're trying to get out of these coverage deals, and so they just any excuse to drop you.
Yeah,
and then he was able to get insurance from another company, and they apparently had gotten it not long before this fire hit. So that was really a blessing, but it took a long time because a lot of companies do not want to write policies in certain states that have a high level of natural disasters, and California is one of those.
Yeah, now for sure it's going to be considered one of them. Like, especially, I bet the insurance companies was not expecting a natural disaster in Pacific Palisades along PCH or in Altadena, like flatland. It's not a hilly place. I don't know if these areas were considered fire risk areas.
Palisades was.
Palisades
sure.
was?
Yeah,
okay.
Palisades was for sure, because it's still adjacent to the wildlife, right? It's right next to all those canyons and hills, the mountains, Santa Monica Mountains.
I did see some cougars running away. A cougar and the cubs. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's what's up there. Yeah. But it's kind of crazy because like the insurance commissioner, Ricardo Lara, they're trying to step up, and like, I don't know if it's Rob Bonta, the attorney general, like trying to put a moratorium on insurance companies from like pulling out.
Yeah, that's Ricardo Lara, and he's done it. But I'm just wondering how effective is that, and how do they enforce it? I guess that's where Rob Bonta would come in.
Yeah, and it's like
our attorney general,
right? And like I heard, State Farm is pulling their Super Bowl commercial to like use that money to help with this, and it's just like standing up to these insurance companies. And like and then I wonder, like future tense, like okay, people not getting insured, like what does that mean? Like what do they do, to protect their asset?
Well, right now the only thing they have is they can call FEMA, but it's going to be limited. So. Of course, the land itself has value, but then you're talking about selling. But there is help, and I just want to make sure that people remember to reach out. Yeah. I learned yesterday that the first call you have to make is to your mortgage company, because if you let them know that your house burned to the ground, they'll suspend your payments, and they'll trigger the insurance company to know what's happened to you and set in motion help for you. So that's the first call. As soon as obviously you get yourself safe and situated, you got to call the insurance company right away. And I did not know that. There's help. There's a lot of people, Black people, that are really invested, particularly in keeping Altadena Black. And I love that for us.
Yeah, for obvious reasons, right? Yeah. Because those days are far and few in between where Black home ownership is so dense in an area. Like, we don't have that really in any other neighborhood locally. It's like very far and few in between. So to support, people I guess who've been screwed out of, home ownership, screwed out of having their home valued at a fair way. Like, we're rooting for them to hold on to their American dream.
Yeah, rooting for everybody Black. Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Crazy news about Snoop Dogg and Trump. We'll share that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, so last time I had insurance, I got hit with huge bills every time I saw the doctor.
You gotta get a plan with low copays and no deductibles. That's what those big bills are. I got a plan through Covered California. Now it doesn't cost so much to go see a doctor.
Seriously?
Yeah, and they have a bunch of options like that, so you can find one that works for you and your cash flow.
I can swing that.
We all have questions. Covered California has answers and can find a health plan that's right for you. Covered California, this way to health insurance.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
I just want to let folks know, I don't know if you can see it on YouTube. Can you see it, Miles, my shirt, Dina Strong? This is part of a fundraising effort for the people impacted by the Altadena, Pasadena fire, the Eaton Canyon fire. You can get them at custommink.com. Well, it's Custom Ink, Dominique. Custommink.com. It's Let's Help Build Altadena. We are Altadena Strong under custommink.com. And this is organized by Taze and Crutchfield out there in the area. So if you want to, it's one way to support. If you want to get a cute Dina Strong shirt, go to custommink.com and you can buy one and make a donation in that sense. So when I was talking about Sherri Bell, this is on blackenterprise.com, and they're saying that Snoop Dogg is rumored, so we don't have confirmation. Snoop, you can clear it up by calling 800-920-1580 to be playing at an inaugural ball for Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. It's called the Crypto Ball. And he loves cryptocurrency. Yeah, I know. Cryptocurrency.
From the LBC, no.
Yeah, but...
No.
Don't make me cuss on the radio, Snoop.
He don't need to do that. What do he need to do that for?
Joker, please.
All money ain't good money, Snoop.
Some money is bad money. It's not just not good money.
It don't make no sense. He don't need to do this for his career.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know what you love him that much that you want to.
Right. I mean,
like, what does it make
I mean, we were talking about, I know he endorsed Rick Caruso for mayor, but Rick Caruso helps fund the Snoop League. Okay, so that was more of a quid pro quo kind of situation. But this, no. That's a betrayal of your community, Snoop.
Yeah, it's like, for the love of money. Dude, remember the Central Park 5, man. Remember what he did to the Central Park 5. He was on trial for murder. Murder was the case that they gave him. Like, he should know about, like, being framed and how that impacted him. And he gonna go support somebody who tried to get these 5 innocent young men.
Apparently Snoop hasn't confirmed. So if you're still not sure, Snoop, Let's put some peer pressure on the. He doesn't need the money. Why stain your legacy? You're beloved.
That doesn't match his brand anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not at all. I know rappers think that Trump is a gangster, but that was the old Trump.
Yeah, before he became president and started saying all this racist stuff, even more racist out front, and just thinking everybody's beneath him and what do we have to lose? Like, we're not like worthy of, capable of, like, equality and dignity and respect, talking to us like, what do we got to lose? What do you mean? Like, what do we got to lose? Everything. Like,
I mean, and on it goes,
Yeah.
He's his new BFF, Elon Musk, is tweeting about how black people have inferior brain capacity, which are Nazi talking points. He is supporting the fascist candidate in Germany. It's not just theoretical anymore. It is real. Look what they did to those election workers, black election workers who are now trying to get their money out of Rudy Giuliani. I mean, there are so many reasons why no. Not the least of which is the MF is threatening to withhold fire relief money from California unless he gets his California to sign off on his full MAGA agenda, which is basically trying to hold our recovery hostage to your political agenda. No, Snoop, don't do it.
Don't do it. Like, you got to really listen to the words that are coming out of people's mouth. Look at the circles and the company they keep. Like, that's real talk. You can't get mesmerized and distracted by a charismatic chuckle and a joke, because he do got charisma,
Not to me.
Well, to some folks.
I know people say that. To me, he makes me want to throw up every time I hear his voice.
Right. I mean, 'cause he do say some shocking stuff, and but it's just not.
Oh yeah, he has curb appeal like a train wreck. You want to look because you can't believe it, but that's not the same as charisma to me. But anyway, it's a $2,500 ticket event.
What?
And
where the money go?
Politico is reporting that Snoop is signed on.
Didn't he make enough money from the Olympics last year? Why he got to do this? This doesn't make any sense. And speaking of Elon Musk, you going to support a man that is friends and appointed this gentleman to the head of a government agency that, basically saying anything that's DEI is lowering standards, just spreading false information.
He's attacking our mayor. Speaking of attacking our mayor, a word to their Kardashians. I actually liked these jeans. I'm not going to mention them. But I'm not going to buy them anymore. I'm boycotting all of your products because you attacked our mayor.
Yeah.
So if you got you little money hungry girlies, known as Kardashians, even if you like attacking black women who are competent, think about your brand, because some of us black women will be boycotting you for life.
Never came out and said nothing. First of all, you never say nothing political.
Right.
And when you come out and say something political, you're talking about the first black mayor of Los Angeles.
Black woman, yeah.
Black woman mayor, I'm sorry, Tom Bradley. But, and I think sometimes when people get to a certain level of wealth, they just lose sight of everything.
The reality.
It's blurry. And
you a white family with black kids, you want to disrespect, and all these black husbands and baby daddies. And you want to, that's your political platform in a time of emergency, attack a black mayor when you have no idea what you're talking about.
No, not all the facts. She did not have all the facts.
Yeah, so I will not be buying. And it's too bad because I really like her jeans, but I won't be buying them anymore or any other Kardashian product.
She's going to be in the category with Amber Rose in a minute.
For me, she's already there. For me, she's already there. Yep. Yeah, well, Amber may be a tiny bit worse because apparently she's either black or she's not. She might be black.
It makes sense. Now those comments all make sense now, where she at, but she got a lot of people who think like her. And we got a lot of people who think like that. Just ignore all the actions and rhetoric that are detrimental to people who look like you.
I didn't know they thought.
Your kid
Let me
black.
Stop.
Her kid is black for sure. Her children, you can't.
And I pray for those kids because as a black girl with a white mama, I can tell you the consciousness of the mother is key.
Yeah.
My mother actually read books and understood concepts. So I didn't have to deal with someone who was undermining my blackness and my consciousness as I grew up.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for those kids that have to come up that way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a truth point.
War in their DNA. Sherri Bell, thank you so much for coming in as always.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to everybody out there listening and, finding time to check us out, and we gonna make it through.
Freedman Friday is next. We're not giving up on reparations. In fact, it's more important than ever. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Donald Trump is nominating Troy Mink for Air Force Secretary. Mink, a director at the National Recon D, Doug Burgum, Lee Zeldin, and Scott Bessent testified. A polar vortex will bring below